So this is from Singapore. Highly vaccinated, but more cases than ever. Singapore shows the world what endemic COVID might look like. Now, this is just like Israel a month ago. We covered that story. It's in our video library there. Go check it out. They're one of the most vaccinated countries in the world, Israel, and they were having a COVID outbreak. On Monday, Singapore recorded 1,647 cases of COVID-19, bringing its 7-day daily average to 1,545 cases, higher than any other previous wave of the pandemic. And they're super vaccinated in Singapore. We're going to find. Experts say Singapore's climbing cases, more than half of which are in vaccinated individuals, may signal that COVID-19 is becoming an endemic disease in the city-state, meaning COVID-19 circulates in a population like its 4 coronavirus's cousins, but doesn't upend lives due to widespread immunity. Singapore has now fully vaccinated over 80% of its population, one of the highest rates in the world. We're at around 55% here in the United States. They're at over 80%. China's full vaccinated rate is 73%, while the European Union and U.S. have fully vaccinated 65% and I was right, 55% of their populations respectively. So, and they're having a huge outbreak in Singapore. Highest day ever for cases, and they're 80% vaccinated. In May, Singapore Prime Minister introduced the government's plan to live with the virus and transitioned away from COVID-0 approach. Singapore has used COVID-19 vaccines from the United States makers Pfizer and Moderna for its national campaign, while some private clinics have also distributed doses from China's Sinovac for individuals that prefer the Chinese jab. But Singapore's growing caseload has raised alarms, nonetheless, because of the speed at which cases have climbed. Despite policies including stay-at-home orders, intensive testing and contact tracing, and a ban on foreign visitors. And 80% of them are vaccinated. They're having the biggest outbreak ever. So Dr. Robert Malone was correct when he said on this show that you can't vaccinate your way out of an outbreak during an outbreak in a pandemic like this. You should, this isn't about what, so again, this isn't about whether vaccines work or don't work, because the goalposts keep changing on that almost monthly. So it went from get the vaccines so we can eradicate it, and everybody's got to lock down. We had to lock down. First it was flatten the curve. Remember that? Flatten the curve? What happened to that? And then it was we got to eradicate it. And then it was, you got to get it so you don't get it. And then it's like, oh, no, you got to get it so you don't give it. But then it turns out you can get it and give it. And you can still get sick. And then now look at Singapore, Israel. So this isn't about whether the vax works or not. This is that even if you get 80% vaccinated, you're still going to have huge outbreaks of COVID. And so if you're afraid of the COVID, go get your vaccine then. But I don't understand how you can the scorn you throw at someone else who doesn't want to submit themselves to that medical procedure, which has no long-term studies. And as we're going to find out in our next video, they're finding new side effects all the time now from the jabs. We're doing a live Jimmy Dore show in Sacramento, October 3rd. We just added a second show. Plus, we're doing stand-up comedy in Florida, in West Palm Beach, and Dania. And then we're going to Buffalo, Baltimore, Tempe, and Portland. Go to jimmydorecomedy.com for a link for all our tickets.